Arigato, kami-sama. Well, in spite of this harsh phonetics, Japan has got a very nice, polite, and refined culture and people. In this video, I will speak about the points which are here: Tokunaga, Japan, karate, and if there is possibility of a new Bruce Lee. When I say arigato, Mr. Khaldun used to say jibilgato. But as far as Mr. probably Dr. Kenzo Tokunaga, when I was studying in England, I met this Japanese student studying applied linguistics. He was a professional teacher, and we made friends. And once I invited him to my place, we agreed about 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock, like the Aphrodite's child used to sing, beautiful song. I took the Quran and started reading a few minutes before 5, but I read verses after verses, and there was no knock at the door. And after some 15 minutes, I opened the door and found Kenzo standing at the door. I said, "What time did you arrive?" He said, 5 o'clock. I said, "Why didn't you knock at the door?" He said, "No, you're in a worship. I respect." I said, the Quran is split in 2 verses. I can read just one verse, Yasin, and stop. He said, "No, you're in a worship. Can you find any respect like this in here?" Okay, this is for my friend Tokunaga. He was very friendly, very kind. He even invited me to visit his beautiful country. Now, moving to the second point, which is Japan. This great nation has a prehistoric time which is controversial, especially when you start speaking about who were the original inhabitants. In fact, there are no original inhabitants anywhere, because people used to move into each other, and they were free, there was no visa. But at one time, the Chinese influence was felt in the Japanese culture. The Chinese brought them the rice agriculture, so you need culture and agriculture, like Mustafa Mahmoud used to say. Sorry. The rice, they brought them the iron work so that they could make their katanas, and also even their language, the kanji or hiragana. Now, the Chinese also brought them Buddhism, the religion of Buddhism and Taoism. Buddhism is actually Indian in origin. Buddha was an Indian prince. And they brought them also Taoism, and this is actually the title of Mr. Bruce Lee's book, Tao of Jeet Kune Do. Well, let me just explain a little bit, as I promised, what Tao means simply. It means 2 forces completing each other, light and darkness, good and bad, man and woman. They are not in confrontation, they are in complementary distribution. This was actually taken as the icon of the South Korea flag. So you have this yin and yang, strength and weakness. Now, at one time in the antiquity, Japan felt that it had the best culture, and they had the best emperor. He was the son of the goddess Kami. So they closed their borders, not to get any negative influence from anybody. But at one time, and let me just be objective, موضوعي, to read exactly what I found. That is in 1854. Okay. I can't find it. Oh no, I found it. En 1854, l'Américain M. Perry, à la tête d'une escadre armée, fait ouvrir sous la menace 2 ports japonais. So Japan was attacked by the American Admiral Perry in 1854, and he forced them to give him 2 harbors. So Japan opened up. And in the time of Meiji, a very young emperor, Japan decided to open up and try to catch up with the Western powers, France, Germany, America. So they brought lawyers from France, mechanicians from Germany, and warriors from America. Maybe you have seen it in The Last Samurai, starring Tom Cruise. In fact, Japan developed very quickly, and it fell into the trilogy of Garodi, who said la croissance, la puissance, et la violence. So they were very strong, and just like the Europeans and the Americans, they became very violent also. And they made up from their many islands, they made an empire. They attacked the Russians, the Chinese, the Koreans, and even went down to the Muslims. They defeated the Russians. They were very strong warriors. So, and they established the empire of Japan, right? To the extent that General Tojo, let me read exactly what he said about this man to be more mawdu'i, more objective. On page 11 in this book, Jesus, a Prophet of Islam, but by Muhammad Ata'ur Rahim, he says that the Japanese, especially this general, he had a scheme to adjust the teachings of Islam to the requirements of modern age. Mujaddid, Muslih, Islam. It had therefore become necessary, according to him, that the Muslims, instead of facing Mecca in prayer, should start facing Tokyo, which would become the future center of Islam under Tojo. Right, so this is the empire. In the 40s, during the Second World War, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor and killed many American soldiers. This would cause something disastrous. The retaliation of the Americans, as you know, was the atomic bomb dropped on Nagasaki. Very pity. But still, the Japanese culture remains very rich with its martial arts, its sushi, its rice, its tea ceremony, its women, beautiful things, you know. As far as martial arts, in fact, martial means is a reference to the Greek god of war. Martial arts, the arts of fighting. So the martial arts of Japan are sumo, judo, karate. Today I want to speak about karate very briefly. Te means hand and karate means empty. So the art of fighting with free hands, with no weapons. In fact, the karate origins is traced back to Okinawa, the island of Okinawa. When the Japanese occupied it, they took all the weapons of the Okinawa people, left just one knife for them to cut their potatoes, etc. And then the watching of a soldier. So the Okinawa people developed this fighting, free fighting, and actually the Japanese learned karate for Dloa. They learned it by being attacked, so they went back to Japan and developed it. And it is usually referred to Master Funakoshi, who started the karate of Japan. And then it developed in many styles and schools, the most famous of which is Kyokushin Kaikan by Master Oyama. A pen friend of mine, I used to write to him and I had an invitation. And it became very famous, especially with this breaking of the bricks and breaking of branches, etc. But the one who made this arts very famous in the 70s was Bruce Lee. And I wonder if we can have a new Bruce Lee. Let's watch. Okay, no way. Bruce Lee was just like Pele, he was unique. And his philosophy and his techniques used of a metaphor, water metaphor. He would say that you should fight, and also just in his Tao of Jeet Kondo, or even in life, you should have this philosophy of water. You should be flexible. You should adapt to any situation. Arigato, kamisama.